Greetings, everybody. It's game 2 of the doubleheader. Yes, we're going to do this. And I am so glad to have you all here.
It's all public centered. On Friday, you had CNBC keep posting graphics about Signature Bank being tied up into Silicon Valley Bank and how it's a crypto-focused bank, it's a crypto-centric bank. Signature Bank had 50% exposure to companies that were in the crypto space. They were doing the crypto.
And so glad to have you. I want to tell you if if other people come on, I sure will. I'd like to say something. The tweet is on the board, and the tweet is good. Ron McGrath has arrived. I want to thank everybody who participated in the discussion last game. I want to tell you I'm fond of all of you. And it was Kathy Hargan. I see you're here in text. I don't know about the others. I don't want to embarrass them in their absence, but as they come on, I'll be sure to thank them. I feel better and quite improved. And it was a very, very nice interaction and discussion during an 8-0 shutout win by Tommy John for the White Sox. And this might help the White Sox if they can sweep, but they're going to have to beat Steve Hargan. Hargan will be pitching for the Cleveland Indians, and look at him. 5-14, 5.70 ERA. We're lucky if he lasts 4 innings. And that's about average in baseball today. Gary Peters, on the other hand, is just a little bit better, and he was 10-15, 4.53 ERA. They both pitched at a pretty good number of games. Hargan had 23 starts, Peters 32. Ron McGrath has arrived. We welcome you. I'm going to have my final cup of coffee. Hopefully it'll take me to 6 p.m. and then toward the end of the game, I'm going to start the other stuff and then keep the game open if anyone has anything, if we're discussing anything. This is my favorite time of the day, even though it's getting lighter out. Dusk. It doesn't get to be dusk until about 6 now, but it's going to get worse as the months go on into the summer. That inferno sun is not my friend, I want to tell you that. I mean, I welcome sunlight for some of the day, but not too much. And in those days in July, when the sun starts going down at about 8 p.m., and that's when it just starts, I've had it. You know how they say there's light therapy and some people benefit from light. I don't. I don't like light. I like it dark. Oh. And I'm gonna smoke an awful lot of grass tonight. You know that? This is the last cup of coffee. And this one I'm going to drink without milk. Opening lineups are largely the same as the first game, with just some select changes. It's Bradford for the White Sox. Bradford leading off in center. Aparicio in short. Hopkins at first. Ward at third. May in right. But Tommy McCraw comes in to play left field for Melton. Hansen is at second. He played. And in place of Herman, who caught the first game, will be Don Pavlitic. And Gary Peters is the pitcher for the White Sox. He's a left-hander. He died this year. For the Cleveland Indians, again, the lineup is similar. Cardinale in center, Nelson at second, Harrelson in right, Horton at first, Peterson in left. Chuck Hinton will bat sixth and play third base instead of Brown. Duke Sims is doing the catching in place of Ken Suarez. And Eddie Leon, the shortstop, Steve Hargan, the pitcher. He's a right-hander. We understand when catchers are replaced, because to catch a doubleheader is not a good idea, even though some teams do it. And leading it off for the White Sox to face Steve Hargan here in the top of the first will be Buddy Bradford. The tweet is posted. Here we go. And leading it off, Buddy Bradford against Hargan. So, Cleveland hoping to split this doubleheader. White Sox really looking for a boost to get a sweep. Here's Hargan now. The wind up, the pitch to Bradford. 6-11. And that is a line out, hit hard to short, caught by Eddie Leon, 1 out. And we're underway here in the second game of the doubleheader. And here's Louis Aparicio. Just in case you're wondering, tomorrow's game in the morning will be the Baltimore Orioles at the KC Royals, the first of a 3-game series. It will be Cuellar and Bunker. Cuellar for the Orioles, Bunker for the Royals. And I always enjoy watching the Baltimore Orioles play. Such a good team. Here's Aparicio at the plate. Hargan in the windup. 2-2, and that's a base hit to right for Aparicio. Sims is a 0. He'll be 1-13 held. And Gale Hopkins now. Aparicio takes a lead off first with 1 out. Here's the pitch to Hopkins. 4-7, grounds it to second, and that'll be a double play to end the inning. Nice turnover by Nelson, the second baseman. No runs, one hit, and none left. And after a half an inning, Chicago nothing, and Cleveland coming to bat. Here's Gary Peters now. Peters a left-handed hitter. The White Sox have stacked their lineup with all left-handed hitters except for Duke Sims, the catcher, who's a left-handed hitter. This is the second southpaw that they have started today. John, the southpaw, with a shutout. Jose Cardinal will lead it off. And here's the pitch from Peters. 6-11. And that is a base hit just past the reach of Leon at short. Of Aparicio at short. Jose is on. And he's a double-A. So that'll make him 1-15, 1-17 with Pavlitic. That sounds like that's a go. Dave Nelson at the plate. Peters throws to first, and Cardinal back safely. Watch for the hidden ball trick, Jose. Jose takes a good lead off first with no outs. Nelson at the plate. Peters throws back again at first to keep Cardinal in check. He's back safely.
Good evening from there. Good morning.
Okay, Peters now. Here's the pitch to Nelson. There goes Cardinal. And he's safe. Jose Cardinal steals second here. And Cleveland has a runner in scoring position with nobody out and Dave Nelson at the plate. Here's the pitch to Nelson. 4-6, grounds at the third, one down. Would have been a double play. Here's Hawk Harrelson. Cardinal in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Hawk. 5-6, flies to center, and the catch is made by Bradford. There's two away, Cardinal holds. So Peters trying to get out of this, to leave Cardinal on second, 2 outs. And Tony Horton is the batter. Here's the pitch to Horton. 6-5. Grounds it to short. Aparicio throws him out, and the side is retired. So the leadoff single by Cardinal stole second. He was left on base. After 1, it's scoreless here. We started off with a pitcher's game in the first 3 scoreless innings, and then the home run by Bradford. And it was 1-0 through 5, but then Chicago exploded with 4 unearned runs, including a 3-run home run by Pete Ward. And that was his first of 2. Top of the second now, and here's, we get another look at Steve Hargan. Gigi and Mr. Perota, looking to see if you're here with us today. for the second game. Pete Ward is the batter.
While I will say and state this very clearly,
Okay, Hargan is ready. And here's the pitch to Ward.
it's just for
6-12. Grounds it to second for Nelson. 18-3. And that is a re-roll. 5-3. Throws him out. So it's one away, top of the second, for Carlos May.
I'm getting an intervention from
Carlos May, another left-handed hitter. Pitch from Hargan. 6-7, and that is a fly ball to center. Is it going to fall in the gap? No, it's caught by Cardinal. Nice catch by Jose. Saved a hit, so it's 2 outs, nobody on, and here's Tommy McCraw. That sounds like an old-fashioned baseball name, doesn't it? 2 outs, nobody on. McCraw, left-handed hitter. And Hargan, the pitch to McCraw, 4-8. Fly ball center again for Jose Cardinal, and he bags it. And it's a 1-2-3 for Steve Hargan, looking pretty fine here in his first 2 innings. Now the late Gary Peters will face Peterson, Hinton, and Sims. Cap Peterson, that's another name that would remind me of old-time dead ball baseball. Cap Peterson. Here's Peters. And the pitch to Cap. 5-7. Struck him out. First strikeout for Gary Peters today. Pretty good strikeout pitcher. Averages about 5 a game. Every 9 innings. Now Chuck Hinton, a right-handed hitter going against Peters. Peters gets the sign from Pavlitic. Here's the windup. The pitch to Hinton, 1-9, and he grounds it to short. Aparicio throws to Hopkins, 2 down. And Duke Sims, hard-hitting catcher. He has power, folks. Not so much against lefties. Not as good against lefties. And the pitch to Duke Sims. 6-8, struck him out, and that's the second strikeout for Gary Peters and a 1-2-3 inning, and he's retired 6 in order. After 2, it's scoreless here. Sounds familiar. We move to the top of the third. Hargan pitched 2 good innings. He'll face Hansen, Pavlitic, and Peters. Ron Hansen. Right-handed hitter. Hargan is ready. And the pitch to Hansen. 5-9. Struck him out. First strikeout by Steve Hargan today. 1 down. And here comes Don Pavlitic. I'm looking forward to when the regular season starts in Real World, because I like to listen to The West Coast games, as I'm lying in bed, I like to listen to the Dodgers. I like to listen to the announcing of Rick Monday and the other guy whose name escapes me. They're both very good. I mean, you may not like them, you may have issues with that other guy, but I think they're both very good. Here's Don Pavlitic with 1 out, nobody on. And the pitch, 3-9. Struck him out, second in a row. 2 strikeouts for Hargan. And Peters comes up. Okay, Hargan ready. Here's the pitch to Peters, a left-handed hitter. 3-7, struck him out. Hargan strikes out the side here in the third. And he's not a big strikeout pitcher. He can pitch 4 or 5 strikeouts in a game. He just got 3 this inning. And we're in the middle of the third. It's a scoreless ball game. It's my favorite time of day right now, till dusk. And then I like the evenings also. Here's Gary Peters. The lights have been turned on here at Cleveland Municipal. Eddie Leon will lead it off. And those of you who've been following this, what's 2 weeks away? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kathy Harden. Oh, yeah. I mean, I like listening to the spring training. That's nice background while I'm lying, taking a nap. But, yeah, there's nothing like real baseball. Real when it counts. And I'm looking forward to it. And I enjoy listening to West Coast games. I enjoy just listening to Yankees, Mets, all sorts of things I'm looking forward to. And the value is unbelievable, Kathy Harden. I figured it out. It's under 14 cents a day. You do the math, $3.99 a month. And you get, that's 14 cents a day, and the entertainment value is unbelievable. You know that? I mean, you know, especially for an old timer like me who doesn't want to sit and watch a ball game. My attention is not that focused. I'd rather have it playing in the background. I like radio baseball. Here's Eddie Leon now. Peters has 2 strikeouts. It's a scoreless ball game. Here's the pitch to Leon. 3-5. Flies to left, 1 out. You're heading out for dinner. Oh, we'll get into the save. Okay, I'm looking forward to that, Stephen. And you missed, in case you missed me at the beginning, I wanted to thank you and Kathy and Gigi. Those were the ones who were there. I appreciate all the others, but yes, the first game of this double was a enjoyable game for me in terms of the social interaction. I just enjoyed all of you, and I'm very appreciative to all of you. And it just adds to the idea of the process. So you have a good dinner, and did your wife cook it? If she did, you tell her it's delicious. Okay? And we'll get into this. I look forward to the save rule. I'd like to see how that can happen. Maybe if you pick off a batter or something. Who knows? All right, Steve Hargan, the batter. And that's a good riddle. Oh, she made reservations. That's even better. You're going out. Okay, drive carefully and enjoy your meal. Steve Hargan at the plate, 1 out. Gary Peters on the mound. 1-8, struck him out. third strikeout for Peters. So this game is looking like the first one. 3 scoreless innings. Not yet, though. Jose Cardinal could end that with one swing of his bat. Jose Cardinal, 1 for 1, singled, stole second, left on base. And the pitch to Jose. 6-7, grounds it to second. That's going to be for Hansen, a 3. And he throws him out. Another 1, 2, 3. That's 9 in a row for Gary Peters of the White Sox. After 3, it's still scoreless. I assume, Kathy Harden, you're still for Cleveland. And let's hope for a split here. So it's going to be up to Steve Hargan here. He's pitched great baseball thus far. 3 strikeouts, struck out the side last inning, is retired 8 in order. And that'll bring up Buddy Bradford, who hit a home run in the first game. In the top of the 4th to lead it off, I believe. Okay, Hargan is ready now. And the pitch to Buddy. 1-8, struck him out. That's 4 strikeouts in order for Steve Hargan, and I really don't think he's that kind of strikeout pitcher ordinarily. He struck out 76 in 144 innings. That's like about 4 to 5 per 9-inning game. But he's really mowing them down here today. Here's Louis Aparicio now. Singled, was out on a double play. And the pitch to Aparicio. 3-8. And he grounds it to third, 2 outs. Gail Hopkins steps in, grounded into the double to end the first. Hopkins, a left-handed hitter. Here's Hargan now. The pitch to Hopkins. 3-3, grounds it to first, scooped up by Horton, and he steps on the bag, and there's another 1, 2, 3 for Hargan, along with another strikeout. He's got 4. 4 shutout innings for Steve Hargan, and Dave Nelson will lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Cleveland Indians. He's 0 for 1. Peters has pitched well, too. And he's retired 9 in order after letting up a single to Cardinal to open up the ball game. Here's Peters now. And the pitch to Nelson. 6-9. And that is a base hit for Nelson. That was hit to left field. Left center. Bradford throws it in. So Nelson is on first. Here in the bottom of the 4th, and here comes Hawk Harrelson. Hawk 0 for 1. Peters from the stretch, the pitch to Hawk. 2-9. Ground, pops it up to short. And that's for Aparicio, 1 down. Now for Tony Horton. Tony 0 for 1. The pitch to Horton. 1-6. Fly ball center. Bradford makes the catch and Nelson holds. So it's my kind of ball game. I think Kathy's kind of ball game. We'd like to see Cleveland score at least a run. It's Nelson on first, 2 outs. Cap Peterson at the plate, struck out in the second. That was the first of 3 by Peters today. Here's Peters now from the stretch. 3-4. And he grounds it to second, and the side is retired. So both pitchers really pitching good baseball. For Peters in the bottom of the 4th, 1 hit allowed, no runs. Nelson led off with a single. He was left on base, and they ought to have a little window, you know, on the TV screen during the game that shows a simplified score sheet, you know, something like this, very simple, very easy to understand, that you could follow it your whole the whole game. I mean, I know the announcers might have less to talk about to tell you what's happened, but even I will tell you what's happened even though it's visible. But I think this would be a nice sort of a screen within a screen kind of thing, or at least show it between innings or something. Well, Steve Hargan has really impressed the hometown Cleveland team with a shutout thus far and retiring 10 in order, and Pete Ward will lead it off here. And it's getting better, it's getting ready, it's getting close to the time for you know what, and I'm in for it. I'm really in for that. Pete Ward, left-handed hitter. Hargan from the stretch. The pitch to Pete, 5-8. Triple 1-4. There's a base hit for Pete Ward. It's only the second hit given up by Hargan. Ward gets the hit to lead it off. He's on first. And here comes Carlos May. May flew to center. I can even give you, you know, say things like May went 1 for 4 in the first game with a single. He was left on base. He's 0 for 1 now. And Carlos steps in, flew to center. Here's the pitch. Oh, I know it. Yeah, you know, that's a lot of fun, Gigi, isn't it? I mean, I hope you stay safe. Are you in the New York area? Playing and watching Strat-O. I mean, what could be more cozy? You know, I used to love that. I used to love as a kid waking up on snow days. Oh, New Hampshire. Okay, I know you're getting hit hard. I think Kathy Harden is subjected to that in Connecticut. You know, there was a lot of fun playing baseball in the off season in a snowstorm. Just love that. Well, here's Carlos May with Ward on first, nobody out. Hargan from the stretch, and the pitch 2-9, grounds it to short. That's Leon. Throwing to Nelson, to Horton, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. So that's the stuff of success for a pitcher. It's 2 outs and nobody on now. And Hargan continues to marvel this home team these home team fans. Here's Tommy McCraw now. I think that's my last sip. You know, when the coffee starts to, get lukewarm and, you got to call it the day when it gets to that point if it's your last cup. Here's Tommy McClure 0 for 1. 2 outs, nobody on after the double play. Hargan gets the sign from Sims. And the pitch to Hargan, 110. The pitch from Hargan. And McClure swings, and there's a double down the line. A stand-up double with 2 outs and nobody on. See how important that double play was. McClure on second with 2 outs and Ron Hansen now. Hansen struck out. Hargan pitches. 2-6. And he pops it up to second. Easy play for Dave Nelson. And the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits. But Hargan got out of it. And his endurance inning will be the 6th. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th. Scoreless ball game. Kathy and I love this, but we want to see Cleveland get ahead here and avoid the embarrassment of a sweep by the Chicago White Sox. This Cleveland team in dead last in the American League East. Chuck Hinton will lead it off. Okay, here's Peters now. And the pitch to Hinton. That's 4-9. And that is a base hit for Chuck Hinton off of Peters to open it up. Third opening up single in an inning for Cleveland. And Duke Sims comes to the plate. Duke has power now. Go check him out, Real World. 18 home runs, but in only 326 home run at bats. That's like 30 in a full season. Duke Sims has the power. So does Horton. So does Harrelson, but he hasn't been showing it much. Very disappointing with Ken Harrelson, even though he's been hitting better of late, but no home runs. Okay, Hinton on first, no outs. Cleveland has a chance here. Peters from the stretch and the pitch to Sims. 2-9. Struck him out. That's the 4th for Gary Peters. And now the batter is Eddie Leon. And I'm sure for those of you, Kathy Harden in particular, and others, maybe Gigi, you keep watching these games there, you start to get familiar with these players like Eddie Leon, who's been playing shortstop for Cleveland. I'd have to check Gigi, but I think he had a pretty good career. I don't want to guess, okay? But yeah, I think he had a pretty good career. He wasn't a great pitcher, but he was a solid starter for, you could go look that up in no time, and you know that, but I'm not sure. Here's Eddie Leon now. 1 out, Hinton on first, and the pitch from Peters. 5-6, fly ball center. Bradford again makes the catch. It's 2 away, and Hargan will hit. Look at that confidence. It's a scoreless ball game. Bottom of the 5th, Hargan at bat, 2 outs with Hinton on first. Here's Peters from the stretch. 2-7, struck him out. The side is retired. 5 strikeouts for Gary Peters. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. After 5, it's a scoreless ball game. I'm kind of really digging this game. I was the kind of kid, like, when I was a Cubs fan, I would go to Shea to watch a doubleheader with the Cubs, and if the Mets won the first game, I figured, oh, it sucks now, because the Cubs can't sweep. And then they blew out the Mets in the second game, and I met an older guy. He was probably about 18, 20. I'm only, 15. And I said, didn't that suck that they split? And he says, oh, but that second game was so great. So he focused on that, but I just couldn't appreciate, because they blew the Mets out in the second game. Here comes Hargan now. Hargan has been really tough today. And he'll face Pavlitic, and then we expect Peters. That's interesting. And the sadness, Ron, again, was it the loss of your brother, Ron? I don't want to intrude. But I do believe you told me about that you lost your brother. And are you able to keep both games in track? I guess you can just play mine in the background, glance up every once in a while, but that's great. And it keeps your mind straight, sure. And I find the same thing. If I'm in acute, severe distress or emotional upset, it doesn't work. but when I'm mildly disturbed, this is like medicine, especially with the community and the mindedness of all of you. Okay, Pavlitic will lead it off, bottom of the 6th. It's been a shutout through 5 innings. Both pitchers really on their game. Hargan for Cleveland and Peters for the White Sox. It'll be Hargan pitching now to the White Sox, top of the 6th. You ought to broadcast one of your own games sometime. I'd like to watch those. Here's the pitch from Hargan to the catcher, Pavlitic. 3-5, struck him out. And that's 5 for Steve Hargan. Hargan is pitching way better than anyone thought. And here comes Gary Peters. Hargan winds the pitch to Peters. 1-4, fly ball center. There's Jose under it, 2 away. Oh, and here's Buddy Bradford 0 for 2. He hit that home run in the first game today. Here's Hargan now, and the pitch. 4-7, fly ball right. This should end the inning. Harrelson under it, and it's another 1-2-3 for Steve Hargan. Wow, he's pitching maybe the greatest game of his career today. I'm sure he pitched some great game in real world, even though he was a journeyman pitcher, I believe. And we move to the bottom of the 6th, and here come the Cardinals, top of the order. Jose Cardinal facing Peters. And I'm having a good time right now. Very, very good frickin' time. And I want to thank Kathy Harden for the retweet on Game 2. Every bit helps. Yes, the passing of your brother. And he was a Strat player too. Oh, yeah, you have a radio voice? Love to watch a game by you. If you do, let me know. Okay, send me some sort of notice, and I'll be glad to come on in. I can do the other side too. I can be a spectator. Okay, Gary Peters facing Jose. Jose 1 for 2. Here's Peters now. 3-5. And he grounds it to second base, and that's 1 away. And that brings up Dave Nelson, who's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch to Nelson. 1-8. Flies it to left, 2 outs. One of my regrets in life is that I didn't go to broadcast school. Instead of psychology, I would have liked to have become either a news reporter in the field or a sports announcer. I think I could have done both rather well, and I think I also could have been a bit unconventional, a little different. I know I could have gotten a job because there's these little stations all over the country where people can get their first chance. 2 outs, and Hawk Harrelson is the batter. And watch out for Hawk. He may surprise us. It's a scoreless game, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs, Cleveland batting. Here's the pitch from Peters, 1-5, and he grounds it to second, and that retires the side. Another 1-2-3 for Gary Peters. I'm getting spoiled here with this pitching. Yeah. Well, thank you, Kathy Harden. You know, I just have to keep up on the players and the rules and all of that. I think I might be better with color commentary. But I also would have liked to have done news reporting and traveled the world doing all sorts of news reporting. Top of the 7th now. This is getting serious. It's a scoreless ball game. No more coffee. Getting ready for the other stuff. I think we whipped through this doubleheader quite well. Sean has arrived. Welcome to Sean. Here's Aparicio now trying to get something started here for the White Sox. It's a scoreless game, folks. If you're just joining us, we're in the top of the 7th. It's been Hargan all the way for Cleveland and Gary Peters for the White Sox. Hargan on the mound facing the White Sox, top of the 7th. Aparicio leads it off. And the pitch to Aparicio. 2-10. And he grounds it to second for Nelson. And that's 1 away in the 7th. And now Gale Hopkins. Hopkins 0 for 2. 4-6. Grounds it to first. Horton has it. 2 away. Oh, this is just too easy here. When they're hot, they're hot. Pete Ward now. Hargan, unlikely. His ERA was over 5. Boy, has he pitched a game today for Cleveland. Pete Ward comes in, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Hargan to Ward, 6-11. And it's chopped to first again. And Horton has it. This time he tosses to Hargan covering the base. Doesn't matter how you score that, in my opinion. It's a 1-2-3 again. Retiring 7 in order for Hargan. It's the 7th inning stretch. And we're heading to the bottom of the 7th. This is quite a frickin' ball game. Gary Peters will come out and face Horton, Peterson, and Hinton. And I'm going to take a 3-minute break because I'm savoring this game. I'm really enjoying this ball game. And again, I'll be back in 3 minutes, no problem. And when we do, hopefully, someone's going to score a run. And I sure hope it's Cleveland. I make my biases known to me. I'll step in, and by the time I get back, it's going to be very, very, very close to medication time. With Peters facing Cleveland, Horton, Peterson, and Hinton, and then Sims. Some powerful bats, relatively powerful. I sure enjoy these games with all of you. Stay strong, everybody, and I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes, hopefully to finish this ball game, even if it goes into extra innings. And I might even like that, because I'll have my medicine, and this game can go 20 freaking games for all I care. I'll be back 3 minutes. Oh yeah, yowza. We take a leak first, so I hope you don't mind my vernacular. It's something we all have to do. Oh, what a day. Today is Monday. Okay, I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you, Kathy. And when I come back, I think it's going to be medication time.
this person, you just lifted the last 4 years of the track. I told I lost 6 pounds that week. Okay? I'm not like that fat person. So, money, whatever your favorite FDIC or first deposit account, what do you want? Mostly 99% is correct. Signature 100% correct. Everything else is
You know, I was just thinking something while I was out there. I was thinking to myself, you know what? The final thought I had, I'll share with you in a moment. But the I had the first thought, and then I went back and reflected on that thought, and then I had some other thoughts, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to the later thoughts and then build right back up. I thought to myself, I have always been generally an unhappy person, meaning I'm not particularly happy. I'm negative. I worry. I have mild to moderate anxiety. I've had episodes of severe depression. But to say I am a happy person or even that I feel happy at times would not be, I don't think it would be accurate. I think what would be accurate is that the one thing that keeps me going is I have transitory and temporary feelings of joy in life. That's different than happiness, I think. Joy is more of a momentary thing. And then I came to the conclusion that Strat-O-Matic baseball broadcast with the social interaction of others does bring me considerable joy. I actually enjoy it. And that's what life's all about, I think, is to find opportunities for joy, responsible opportunities. I mean, I can think of a lot of things that might give me joy in an instant, but might bite me later. So I just wanted to say that. You know, I get a little heavy sometimes. And by the way, it's medication time. So I'm going to dig in and take a micro hit of my medicine. A very, very small hit, and I hope none of you will attempt to stigmatize me. This is a micro hit. This is a very, very small, as you can see, how small this is. It's smaller than my fingernail. And if I ingest this, I could even take it smaller, but by ingesting this one little hit, it gives me such a good punch. And I'm going to enjoy this right now, if you don't mind. Then we'll get on with this game, which has just tickled me fancy. Look at it. Look at those zeros. Here goes. That's very tasty. Very, very tasty. Well, let's get back to this scoreless shutout ball game. Peters and Hargan for Cleveland, Peters for Chicago, each pitching just remarkable baseball. Tony Horton now, 0 for 2, has power. Gotta be careful with this guy. Here's Peters into his windup and the pitch to Horton. That's 6-7. That'll be grounded to second base. Scooped up by Hansen. And he throws him out. One away. Oh, Lord. Both these pitchers so hard to hit today. Here's Cap Peterson now. Cap is 0 for 2. And Peters throws 4-7. There's a base hit for Cap Peterson up the middle. That's the fourth hit, all singles, given up by Peters today. So Peterson on first with 1 out. And Chuck Hinton is the batter. Hinton is 1 for 2. He had a single. Peters from the stretch. And the pitch to Chuck, 2-11. And it's a fly ball to left. Getting under it is Tom McCraw. And he makes the catch, 2 away, and Peterson will hold. And now here's Duke Sims. Watch Duke. Watch out for him. He's got power. Okay. And Sims has struck out twice by Peters. Here's the pitch to Sims. 6-6. Struck him out again. And that's the fifth strikeout for that. I'm sorry, that's the sixth strikeout for Peters and the third of Sims today. And we've gone 7, and it's a scoreless ball game. You know, I like to question taken for granted assumptions sometimes, and one of them is, how strange is it that a baseball game has become a game has become as popular as baseball, and what it involves, the essence of it, is a pitcher at 60 feet and 6 inches away from home plate throwing a small, hard ball in 90 degrees, 90 miles per hour, sometimes more today, and expecting a hitter to try to hit that ball. And there's an old adage that hitting a Major League Baseball is the hardest thing to do in all sports. I suppose there is some truth to that, but that's wacky, you know. Well, here comes Hargan now, top of the 8th. God, he's been as good as Peters. He's allowed only 3 hits with 5 strikeouts. This is a real clinic for great pitching on both sides. And Carlos May will lead it off. He's 0 for 2, flew to center and grounded into a double. Hargan, Steve Hargan. And here's the pitch to Carlos May. Yeah, 95. Today they throw even